Hey everybody, Old Pal Monster Bait here. Now, I'm back out today. Same area that we found the track previously, but we're gonna embark on a mission today. We're gonna cross the river. Got a good friend of mine here that's gonna go with me. I wouldn't cross alone for evidentiary purposes and safety on this one, because that's where I think they are. So, here we go. Now the biggest dilemma today that we got to figure out is where to cross the river. And we want to make sure that it's at a place where we can get in and out easily. Because if we find some tracks or something over there, we want to be able to get back and cast it. I brought my casting materials. We can GPS them and then we can go back. So we're going to do a little looking around. See what we can find. This will probably end up being a two-part episode, because this will be a long adventure. But you're along for the ride. What you see, we see, and it'll be a fun day. It's not real hot outside. The gates are still locked, so there's not going to be a lot of through traffic. So it should be a nice little quiet day with just us and the wilderness. We're walking by the cornfield right now. And I was talking about before, and I know you saw it in some of the videos, the damage that's in some of this. Now this could be deer, this could be, I mean really anything, but could be, I mean tractors, could be anything. You don't want to always jump to conclusions on this stuff, but look at the damage through the corn that you got there. I mean that's a lot, and that could be again a piece of farm machinery. I don't see any tire tread or anything. Could be deer, could be just humans in general. But there's still some corn hanging. You can see it there. So there's still corn that they can actually eat on. It's not all picked, and there are corn husks laying around the ground. I'll show you here what I'm talking about. So we're going to walk into the corn. No, not like the movie. There's not children in here, hopefully. Hopefully there's no children in the corn. If there is, we're out. I'll take Bigfoot, but no children in the corn. So we're going to walk in. This is a big old clearing right here. Look at them broken off. This is broken off. Look at that. See the corn broken off? It's broken off about
this is broken off
ankle size.
Base level.
Look at that. Let's look at this a little closer here. Now again, I'm not jumping to conclusions. Could be absolutely anything, but that's weird. Look at the pathway of the broken corn right through there. Look at that. The weird part about the corn is there's no clear deer tracks. You can see disturbances, but there is no clear deer tracks. So we don't know for sure that it was deer that was eating the corn. Yeah, there's some evidence of it. There's some evidence coming into the cornfield. Yeah, that's probably what it is. But we don't know for sure. And there's definitely no human signs. There's no human tracks. There's no human vehicles. I mean, it's a food source. It could be anything. It could be any animal. But it's weird that it's cleared out so much. There's such a disturbance, and then it just kind of stops. Interesting, for sure. I mean, it's food source. Something else that's very weird in this cornfield, we found zero scat. No deer scat. No other scat. Usually if deers are eating this much, they're going to make a deposit of the brown kind on the ground. But there is nothing like that. The strange part that we've noticed is some of it's chewed. Okay, so that, that's okay. That's probably deer. other things, there's other stalks that look like they've been bent and broken. So I mean that's kind of unusual. So this piece of corn here don't look like it's been chewed. It literally looks like that it's been peeled and that something's took a bite out of it. Okay? Again, not saying that it's anything else, but I don't think a deer would do that. Raccoon maybe, who knows? But something a little different. That's been peeled. That's been chewed on. Something to make note of for the future. So this is green corn. It was one we found laying on the ground. Okay? See it there? You can't hardly break this thing. I mean, that takes some force to break that off. And then at that stage, you're still not. See how it splinters? I mean, that's just one we found that was been broken off. So it's going to take a little force if you don't have a cutting implement. The scary part about this next to the corn are these broken sunglasses. Hopefully we don't meet the same demise as whoever was wearing these glasses. Hear that?
To give us tree wrap. That big one over there.
Which one? Off over there. Now the only reason we're knocking is because we heard knocks over there. We heard like a wood sound. That's exactly what it is. You know that sound we heard? Maybe it ain't a wood knock. Maybe they're knocking two rocks together. They've also been known to break nuts, you know, open nuts with rocks. So it's all coming from the river area, though. And it's something we probably need to keep in mind as we get there, because we are very close to where we got the track, where Charlie got some tracks once I talked to him, and where that site was where the rock was thrown at the man during the production of that show. So we're here. So we heard a noise over there. Just saying. Took my audio recorder and I've strapped it to the side of the camera. That way, we got a second audio source for any type of vocalizations or anything. Because I've noticed that in past videos and, you know, comments and things like that. We want to make sure that we keep things user-friendly and viewer-friendly for you all. Because if you're not happy, nobody is. Okay. Now, we heard sound coming from over there. I don't know that you can pick it up or not. Straight out in the road. It's like a knocking sound. It was a knocking sound. Now there's been, you know, theories and things that maybe they work like other great apes and they have sentries, they have watchers, things like that. So maybe it was one of them notifying the other group. Something's in the area, be aware. Who knows? Again, it's all theory, but we gotta keep an eye on that. Because if it is something of that nature, they know we're here, 100%. We found a tree break over here. And it is a healthy tree, or it appears to be, and there's no other wind damage down here. Pretty interesting. A little closer look at the tree break. There's no other wind damage that we see around it. I mean, it could be anything, but there's a lot of little paths coming to this tree too. Oh, we made it to the river. Now we got to find a spot to cross.
We're gonna have to go further down because there's no way in hell we're gonna get down
No,
this
we
bank
can't get
and
down
back
this
up.
bank. We're going to have to go on down some. Still trying to find a good place to cross. This bank has dropped off tremendously. We really don't have a rope with us, so we're going to see if we can find somewhere to safely get across through there. That water's stagnant and not real good to be wading in. Walking the bank, walking the bank. Trying to find a place to cross the river. It's really deep right there, and that water's not moving a whole lot. So you gotta be careful with stuff like that. Bacteria and things could set in. Probably not a horrible risk, but there's still risk there. Gonna see if we can find a little spot down here. I can see a little clearing area where you could probably get across. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a big production. We don't have a large crew. I've got to climb this hill and get out of here. And that's what we're getting ready to do. Now, if I fall in the river, you better give me a like on this video. Here we go. Put my knuckles down right on that stinging nettle. Oh, that feels great. So we're not going to cross here because it's just probably not a good idea. We're going to go on up to the next little spot and look there. The problem with getting across the river is doing it safely because you don't know how deep some of these holes are in the middle of the river. I mean, you could be walking at 3 foot deep and then you hit a hole and you're 10, 8, something like that. So we're going to go up to the next little spot and look at that. Something really neat that I talked about earlier, that's corn husk. Right there. And the corn husk, that's corn. The corn husk is right by the river. Real interesting to keep note of. We might be in business here, folks. We'll have to go down and look. We might be in business. I think we're in business. I think we can cross. Carefully. We made it across the river. At least part one of the river. So we're gonna explore a little bit over here and see, but we made it. We're across the river. Mission 1 complete. Oh, it's time now for a little water break. We've been hiking quite a little while now. We need to rehydrate. So we made it across the river. And I'm not real sure what to expect now because we've never been over here. We've never done this part. So anything could happen. Got a little wet, not too bad. It's dry. We went through stinging nettles today. Through all kinds of different things. So our next challenge is to explore the other side of the river. And like I said before, we've never been over to this side. Could be interesting. When you're out in the woods, make sure you protein. Rehydrate. That way Bigfoot has a nice meal whenever you do find him. It's always good. He don't want anybody scrawny. So we're sitting right now taking a break on the little gravel barge, the rock barge, where the man would have been when the rock was thrown at him on the television show several years ago. So that means behind us is where that creature should have come from. And he talks about in the episode how there's all kinds of stinging nettles over there. It'd be stupid for somebody to be over there. Well, we just walked through a lot of that to get over here. So yeah, that's accurate. That's not television. But we're going to go behind us, walk up that way for a while and see what we can find. But we're here. We're right in the middle of it right now. Sitting, listening. Maybe even being watched. Alright, break time's over. We're going to go look at this little muddy area over here, very close to the other side of the river. It's kind of a little cut through, so it kind of cuts through there. And we're going to look at it and see if there's any tracks, what kind of wildlife's been through. Here's the little cut through we was talking about. It's dry, dry, dry. A great place for evidence and signs and tracks, and to see what kind of wildlife's in the area, for sure. You know, one thing that we've noticed being over here, there's no signs of any human activity on this side. Probably because people ain't dumb enough to cross, but we did, and we're gonna see what we can find. Remember that whole risk versus reward thing? What it got us last time? Hopefully it gets us something this time. Not sure if this is an effective method or not, but may get us some results. One thing to remember, since we've done this, we don't know what message that it's sending to whatever is out there. So we got to be alert now. We got to be cautious. We got to be alert. We got to constantly listen, because if it is a creature, they're not going to readily have a stick. Okay, they may have to use their hand or something. So it may take a minute. But we've opened that door, so now we got to listen, we got to be cautious, we got to be alert of our surroundings. We're walking through the woods, and I mean, it's really thick over here. A lot thicker than it looks sometimes, but I mean, it's very hard to see any sign of anything right now, honestly, because of the thickness of the foliage and the stinging nettles and everything else that we're having to deal with right now. Which sucks a lot, but yep, there just went another one right on my leg. That's always a very, very comfortable feeling when one of those stinging nettles hits you right in the leg. Maybe. Well, I'm standing on a log on the edge of the river. We've ran out of bank, so now we got to figure out how to get on down. We're going to have to get a little rough.
Yeah, up's not an option.
No, up is not an option.
And I don't think what you're looking at is going to be an option.
No. We meant to go right here. Alright, let's walk around here. Now we'll have to get a little wet right in here. One weird thing that is kind of a weird superstition of mine is I never wash my hiking boots. Never clean them off, so if they're muddy, when I come out again, I'll clean them off in the creek or something like that. So the way they go is the way I keep them, and it's just something I've always done. So we found something kind of weird, and I'm going to show it to you just in a second. But the strange part about it is, it could be deer tracks overlaid, but we want you to look at it. It's three-toed. I don't know, but you be the decision maker on this one. Found the remains of crayfish. Something definitely been eating that. Raccoon, something like that. So look right here. That looks like a heel impression. And right beside it, corn cob. We ain't been through here. There's no tread on that either. That's pretty deep. Very interesting. This whole area over here is tore up pretty bad.
Look at that, right out in front of you.
I'm gonna walk over and look around a little more. It's just not, look at that right there. It looks like a defined side track. Could be, couldn't be. There's all kinds of acorns, there's all kinds of crayfish debris. There's something moving behind us. I'm pretty sure, 100%. I'm almost 100% we're where we are. Oh God, almost fell.
I'm going to watch you go down the water.
Oh, I hit a mossy rock. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you almost got to see me run a camera and my body and everything else. So, hey, this current's moving pretty fast. It don't look like it, but I almost fell down. Well, we are wore out, but we've crossed the river. We got a nice idea about what's going on over there. As far as it's very untouched wilderness. You know, there's a lot of stuff over there. We've seen maybe a track or two. So, still firms up that theory. The crazy part is we found corn husk over there by a couple of the tracks, or possible tracks. And that was neat. That was kind of a hypothesis that we had going in, that we keep in mind. Would there be corn on the other side of the river? And we did find some. So that's very interesting. Now we got to get into some nighttime stuff. All right, folks. We're out. We made it out. Pretty interesting, productive day today. I think that this will be future investigations. We can use this data we collected today for that purpose. Pretty cool to see corn stalks on the other side of the river. Or corn husks, not corn stalks, corn husk. Could have come from anywhere, but again, pretty neat. Until next time, don't forget, the monsters are not just under your bed or in your head, they're everywhere. Now's the time for you to do your part. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. And if you ever have any doubt about how to get to us, monsterbaittv.com. That will take you to all of our links. Support the channel, we have a Patreon. You'll get all kinds of exclusive content, and of course, eventually, full monster bait episodes coming soon. Thank you.